Welcome, everybody, to Night of the Nerdy Laser podcast. I'm your host, as always, Richard. I've never been snowboarding, and after this movie, I don't want to be snowboarding Yule.
Wow. And I'm Jeff Lamb.
And we are going to the slopes to talk about Adam Green's 2010 Frozen.
Yep.
It's about two sisters that love each other very much. One of them has ice powers.
Yeah. There's a snowman named like Cork or whatever his name is. Is his name Cork?
Olaf.
I've never seen Frozen. I
Oh,
don't
fuck.
know.
The second one is good, man. The second one's good.
I got that on I think Blu-ray because I forgot to cancel it for like Disney Movie Club one time. It's like, what is this? Where did it come from? And then I saw a charge and I was like, there it is.
Okay, fun fact about Disney Movie Club. If you own the only way you could get Cars on VHS is that, and it's like an $800 tape.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, so crazy that like I've never seen one in person. Our friend Jason down at the dungeon has never seen one in person. It's crazy.
Wow.
And I think it came in like a normal VHS, like not a clamshell or anything.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy. Look it up. Frozen from Disney came out in 2013, so they were three years late to the party on this one. I was like a super fan of Adam Green's at this point.
Oh yeah.
You know, Hatchet 1 and 2 had been out, I think, by now. And I mean, I was just a super fan of Adam Green. Like I loved him, I still do. And this movie I was so excited for, and I remember like it's so different back then buying movies and like going to Walmart and like I don't know, it's just such a weird, it's so weird now. It's like just order it online, and back then that you didn't do that, or I didn't.
No.
I mean, it was just easier to drive down to Walmart and pick it up. But now, I mean, you never know if, I mean, like my buddy Tanner has been trying to get Thanksgiving and he's went to Walmart 3 different times and it's still out of stock.
Really?
Yeah. And I saw it on Blu-ray, or I saw it on DVD at Walmart. I didn't see it on Blu-ray. They haven't had it in. So did they not order enough? Is it so popular? Who knows? You know, but yeah,
It's kind of interesting.
just a weird way. So I remember going to the store and buying Frozen and watching it. It's a much different film than Adam Green's ever really done. I think
Tonally?
it's his, huh?
Tonally?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's no like monster. There's no. I mean, it's all suspense, right? I mean, is it a horror movie? I mean, it is horrifying,
Yeah.
but it could fall in that suspense thing. But
Did
I
you?
mean, I don't know why he doesn't do more of these movies. Like, I mean, I know he doesn't really do that many now, but like, I mean, I really would this movie. So I guess part of the downfall of this movie, I feel, is it had the connotation of open water on a chairlift, right?
Yeah.
But it's not. I mean, the dialogue is actually really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas the open water, they're just screaming at each other.
That's true. And the dialogue's like even like better than Adam's like regular dialogue because kind of at
It is.
times he could be like immature his writing, but not like so immature like trauma immature or something like that. But this one feels like the conversations seem like not supernatural with ghosts, but like very
Yes,
natural.
very natural. Yes, I got you.
And then the
Uh,
ghosts. Don't forget the ghosts.
so talk about the cast for a little bit. So Sean Ashmore, I mean, was the one I was most familiar with because he's Iceman in the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
So I knew him from a bunch of stuff. Apparently now he's in the Rookie
The
TV show.
the one with the Nathan Fillion or whatever.
Yeah, but here's what's funny, and I'll go to him just because it's the topic I'm talking about. But Kevin Zegers was Dan Walker. So these are the two friends, best
Mhm.
friends. And Kevin apparently is in the spinoff, The Rookie Feds.
Oh, really?
How crazy is that?
That's pretty funny.
I mean, it's funny. They've both done a lot of things. And Emma Bell, I think, is amazing in this movie, and she still does work, but nothing. She was. It looks like she was in Final Destination 5, and she was in the first season of Walking Dead. I mean, I was really excited to see her, but I mean, I think she dies in the first season.
I haven't
Um,
seen it since it aired, so I couldn't tell you who was who. I'm
she
mostly
was the she was
Riverdale.
the sister. Like she was. There were two sisters there, and she was one of the sisters. Um, those are the main people, right, in this movie. So we get some cameos and such, and we
Mhm.
won't go into deep spoilers on this movie. So you can feel free to just listen, casually if you haven't seen it. And I don't think it'll ruin it or anything, but I do suggest watching it. As of this recording, it is on Tubi, and I think it's been on Tubi for a long time.
Yeah.
Um,
Freebie and I think regular Prime.
Yeah, so it's always on something, it seems like. Um, but if you're looking for something that is kind of I mean, it's a total mainstream kind of movie. I mean, you know, it's
Yeah.
not like this wacky underground story or anything.
What I
Uh,
was gonna say, I mean, I think we've talked about. I've seen pretty much everything of Adams, except his first one, which was like a student film, or like it's just his first one he put out, which was like Coffee and Donuts or Cigarette
yeah,
and
I've
Donuts.
never seen it. I've seen everything else. I
And
think.
you can't even see it. And sometimes he'll play it during the Yorkie-thon, but at
Oh
like the
yeah,
weirdest times, because like I don't stay up for the Yorkie-thon. I can't. I'm tired. But like
yeah,
he'll play it like every once in a while for that. I don't know if he did this year. I was trying to watch a little bit of that, but I fell asleep again because said tired. But and then
yeah.
the other one that doesn't feel as atomy as all his other stuff is that Spiral that he wrote with the guy from Hatchet,
Hatchet.
right? What's that
Yeah,
guy's name?
Joel, it's three names.
Yeah,
He's in the Avatar movies. There you
yeah,
go. Joel David Moore, I think, is his
I
name.
think so. But and that one's I think I've watched it all, if not most of it.
Oh,
And
I've
that
watched
one's,
it a few times. It's okay. Adam Green said he'd never do it again, and he said it wasn't a knock on Joel. It was just he wants it to be his.
right, and that's Adam Green's like MO. It's like it's
So
his
I don't
movie and
really
he directs it.
consider
He writes it.
Spiral. I don't really consider Spiral an Adam Green film.
Well, that and Chillerama.
I I've never watched it. I've seen the first short thing turned me off, and I never turned it back on.
It's different, but it's not bad. I don't hate it.
But I do. I love Digging the Marrow.
Yeah, that's a cool movie. I really
We
liked
should
that one.
cover it one day. It's really good.
Yeah, yeah, we could do that. And the other one, well, then I just in Holliston, and I'm sure we'll talk about that because some of the cameos in this. So
Yeah. Um. So basic story. We'll start there. Then we'll talk about the cameos, and then we'll talk about some of our favorite scenes without being too spoilery, or some not necessarily scenes, but favorite things about it. Right.
yeah, better way.
So I mean, it's basic premise. Three friends. We're really two friends, and one of them's girlfriend. Uh, Goes snowboarding. Uh, she's not really comfortable with snowboarding, so they hit the bunny slopes all day. And then the guys want to do like the high hill. I have no idea any slang
Double
of
diamond,
anything.
black diamond, or whatever it is. I
So
don't know either.
so anyway, they're trying to figure out a way to do it, but they don't have any. But they don't. They, they just don't want to pay the chairlift fee.
Right.
Apparently, chairlift fees are expensive. I have no idea. They're at least over $100 for three people. So I know that from this movie, which I wouldn't doubt. but anyway, so they get Emma Bell Parker to flirt with the guy that is doing the like that is letting everybody on and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think they go right, and then they want to go again. She
Yeah. Well,
pays them $100. They get on the chairlift and they go up,
yeah.
and then
They
when they come
do
back
all day.
down, what's
He
that?
lets them on all day essentially because they even at one point they after they do all that they're having that conversation at the table because they're eating
Oh, I
lunch.
guess that's right. I guess that's true.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
eating lunch and that guy's like, I can't believe you brought her. I really like I've been
Well, I
watching
mean, I know
all
that, but they were there all day. I guess I'm just confused of the timeline of when they did that and when everything happened. I just watched it, but memory, you know. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So basically, what happens is the guy, like they go up and a bunch of people are coming down. He puts on this red flag on the last chairlift, which I guess signals to the person up at the top of the hill that that's the last chair. Nobody else is on the chair.
right.
And so he so he lets him go on reluctantly, and he's like, they're like, we'll be really fast. And he's like, okay. And so you think he's going to stand there and watch him. And he gets called away because he can't go to his brother's bachelor party.
Yeah.
And so that trigger is real enough to be like, fuck those kids. Like, I don't fucking care. But they still, they still do a good job of making this believable, right?
Yeah, because he tells the other guy, he's like, hey, there's three up there, just wait for him to come down. And it turns out there were three other people in front of him. He meant there were three on the chair still, not the three that were coming down the hill. And
Yeah.
I mean, if he would have been there, obviously they would have known, okay, these were the last three I let up. But
He
since it
would
was
have,
a different
yeah.
guy, and then not only was it a different guy, but it was like a different guy because he said he had to go to the bathroom or something like that. I don't know if he ended up like switching out or not, but like,
No, he just
like,
well, no, once those three came down, he left.
yeah, he told that other guy, I think that's it. Come on down, like the guy
Yeah.
at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so he like they grounded in reality really well compared to like a super unbelievable thing.
Yeah, Adam took a little beating, I remember, on like socials and just message boards, whatever, when he, because people were like, oh, this would never happen, blah, blah, blah. And, oh, why can't you just jump down? And, I mean, I think he does a good job of showing, how it can happen and what would happen if you do certain things.
Yeah, and I mean, like I try to put myself in their shoes, and it's like they paid $100 to snowboard all day. Like, just go home. You don't need one more one more run. But I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Like or if you just did that, then it would have been a 20-minute episode of like a sitcom about a guy and his girlfriend and his like third wheel friend. So it wouldn't have been Frozen at that point. But yeah, no, I get it. And I think he does well. Like we were saying too, like there's not too much in this that I kind of like suspend disbelief and I'm like, oh brother, come on, like that's so stupid. But like, I mean, maybe the wolves, but like at the same time, like I don't know. I don't know who's up in a like on a ski like on a ski run.
Yeah. There are wolves involved. I think it's used too much. I'll just say that, and I think that's where my disbelief came from. But I mean, who knows? I don't really know wild animals, so
Just cats that lay in comic book boxes.
he's on the heater now. If
Oh,
you'd
okay.
like to know, and if I stop petting him, he bites and licks my hand. So yeah, I mean, so the idea is that they get stuck on this chairlift on a Sunday, and it's not going to open up till Friday.
Mhm.
They do have one last hope, really, while they're stuck for a few hours. Um, I guess there's a tractor that like kind of like flattens out the snow and evens it out or whatever. Like I said, never been skiing. I don't know.
Me
But
either.
it's
I never
doing
been to
something.
Colorado, so.
I mean, that's a skiing capital, isn't it?
It's one of them, but it's never interested me. I feel like Ben Stiller in that movie where he like assesses risk.
Oh, yeah.
Is that Along Came Polly?
I think so. I think it is a long
Where he's
time.
like, there's a 23% chance you could die or get injured doing something. I feel like that. I'm like, if I drive up there, it's like 23%
The
chance.
only thing I really remember about Along Came Polly is Rainbow. He's playing basketball.
Yeah,
Fucking what? Philip Seymour Hoffman.
yeah. R.I.P.
Yeah. So all right. So that's the basic premise. So they're gonna basically die if they stay up there. They can't last 4 days in the freezing cold. So there's this tractor I was talking about that's like flattening out the stuff, but at this point it's like a snowstorm. So they're getting snowed on. It's loud in the tractor, and who is driving the tractor, Jeffrey?
Kane Hodder.
King Huada. Mr. Jason himself, Jason Voorhees,
Yeah.
friend of Adam Green.
Yeah. Don't confuse him with other Jason.
Like Jason
Down at the dungeon.
Down at the dungeon, our friend, you can not get skis, but oddly enough, he is a skiing aficionado, which cracks
Really?
me up. I've told him, yes, I have told him. I find it funny. He was a skateboarder and then he skied. Yeah, funny. Now he's just the lovable, grumpy old man down the block. So anyway, Jason Down at the Dungeon is a good sponsor of ours, a good friend of ours. What does the dungeon have, Jeff?
Oh man, it's got so much stuff. It's got Blu-rays, DVDs, the best VHS collection. He's got some albums, some vinyls. He's got some toys,
Laser discs,
video games, laser discs.
I mean,
He's
laser
got
discs.
it all. I mean,
he does have new merch coming in from your favorite boutique labels such as Arrow and Vinegar Syndrome, and just he's got stuff like Adventures in Babysitting on Blu-ray. So if you need some nostalgia, you can head on down to the Dungeon at Southland in Maryville, Tennessee, on East Broadway at the Roundabout. Just look for Southland Books, drive around the building, and in the back there is the Dungeon. You'll find Jason there. And today I was lucky enough to witness one of his classic tarot card sales.
yeah. Did he offer up a free reading with the sale?
He did. They did it right there. It was great.
Wow. How are things looking for that? I guess that's private information. We won't.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got a curtain.
It's like doctor confidentiality,
yeah.
I think, right?
Yeah. He's got a very side room where it's got like a beaded curtain. There's like a lava lamp in there and stuff.
And the thing I always wonder is like the way Castle Freak was chained up and the way Jason's chained up in the dungeon. Now, are those similar? Do they feed Jason?
Yeah, yeah. They feed him with crackers. Cheese crackers. He gets these little cheese crackers. It's fine. Also, down here at the dungeon, right next to it is called the Bird in the Book, and it's a great venue where I've been lucky enough to do some events there. They are having a really cool event on April 27th called Jim Live, featuring Samantha Newark. And if you know who Jim is, and the holograms from the 80s cartoon, and Samantha Newark was the voice. So you can get tickets right now if you follow us and Jason Down the Dungeon at Southland_Dungeon on Instagram and Facebook. You'll see us post about it. You can also go to Eventbrite, type in Jim Live featuring Samantha Newark, and it'll pop up. It's only a $10 show, $15 tickets at the door. And if you want VIP, if you want right up close to Jim right now, it's a $15 ticket. You get in a half hour early. So get those tickets. It's going to be a really fun night. I'll be there so you can hang out with one half of the Night of the Nerdy Laser crew. But that'll be a really fun event. Also, FrankenCon is coming up, and it's a horror convention that me and Spooky Dude Corey put on, and it's at the Knoxville Hilton Airport, and right here, right outside of Knoxville, Tennessee. So go to frankencontn.com for all the information. This is a major show, guys. We've got 3 big reunions. We've got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reunion with William Vale, Alan Danziger, and John Dugan. We've got a Scream Queen reunion with Brink Stevens, Michelle Bauer, and the Queen, Linnea Quigley. And we also have a major Thanksgiving, first ever cast reunion. This has never been done. Alex Armbruster, who played John Carver in the movie, he did his first convention a couple weeks ago, and the other ones haven't done a convention for Thanksgiving necessarily. Now we got Gabriel Davenport and Karen Cleash, and they have never done a convention at all.
Oh, well.
Any convention. So Karen Cleash, if Thanksgiving doesn't interest you and you're a Saw fan, she was in Saw 6 as part of the dog pit. So those are things that will interest you. Brian Bremer from Pumpkinhead will be there. Ginger Lynn Allen will be there from Devil's Rejects, and some movies that you might find similarly in another room with a beaded curtain. Great cast of people will be at FrankenCon, and we can't wait. It's May 10th and 11th, and please go to frankencon.tn.com, frankencontn.com for more info. All right, so let's talk about these cameos. We've already talked about the cameo of my cat, because he's on the heater meowing because I don't want to pet him for 45 minutes.
I think he was saying something about promotions in the middle of the episode. Who knows? I don't know.
So we've talked about the Kane Hodder thing. This one isn't really a cameo, but Sean Ashmore's name is Joe Lynch.
Yeah.
So that's pretty funny. They call him Lynch. I didn't catch that his name was Joe.
Yeah,
they do say it a couple of times. She says it.
Yeah, and I subtitles, so I was like Joe, and then I was like Lynch, and I was like Joe Lynch.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, it's
Speaking of Joe Lynch, he has a cameo.
And Adam Green.
And Adam, they're both sitting on a ski lift when it stops the first time, because it stops because they say somebody couldn't get on the chair and fell or something like that.
Yeah,
which I think happens, a lot.
Yeah, I could see that.
I know I would just get bashed down by a ski lift chair and then quit there and be like, I'm done. I don't want to do it. So
also, and I would only know this by IMDb, but apparently Dee Snider from Twisted Sister fame is also a cameo by voice only, as he says, last chair.
Yeah, so he was the guy at the top of the hill, supposedly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but all these things are cool because it links back to Holliston, which we get a cool. Okay, to those that may not know what Holliston is, this is how I describe Holliston. It's a Disney show for horror fans.
Pretty much, yeah.
So Holliston focuses on Adam Green and Joe Lynch as friends and their girlfriends. Well, Joe's girlfriend and Adam's on again, off again.
Mostly not.
Off again.
Yeah, mostly.
That Christmas episode, woo.
Yeah, that's a good one. They're all good.
No, they're good.
I wish we got another season. And I thought for sure when Shudder got the rights there for a while that it was going to promote it enough that it was going to bring it back for a season. But I don't think it panned out. But I don't ever give up hope with Adam, because every once in a while he'll surprise you.
What if we got a Holliston movie?
I'd be fine.
That would be cool.
Yeah, but how are you going to do it now without what's his name from Guar?
I know, Odorous.
Yeah,
Man, so Holliston was great. They had a cat that was a puppet, but also Adam had like an imaginary friend that lived in his closet.
Yeah.
And whenever Adam like had a problem, like kind of like Full House, at the end of the episode, there's like a conundrum. And so he would go in, and Adam goes into his room and he would like sit on the bed or whatever. And then Odorous from Guar would come marching out of the closet in full Odorous gear. Like,
Yeah.
oh, Adam, what's wrong? Like, I mean, it's great. And then Odorous would give this advice that would help Adam.
And it was always such like dumb advice, like in the real world, but like it makes sense for him to do it and how he's doing it. So it's perfect. But yeah, and like you're saying, and it had like weekly guests almost. It felt like it had like Tony Todd. It had
Derek Mears was
Kane.
there.
Yeah.
Kane Hodder was on a few. D. Snyder was
He's their boss at the
he was their
radio
boss.
station.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was always in like full like Twisted Sister gear with the like permed out hair
It
and
is kind of
the
funny.
makeup
Yeah.
and stuff. And he's like, got a band. I got a show tonight. Wow.
I kind of feel like Adam probably wouldn't do Holliston again because Odorous, but I mean, I think you could do it, but it would probably be hard for him.
Yeah. I can't see him doing it again, but I don't know.
What if they just got Kane to dress up like Victor Crowley, and he
Yeah.
came out of the closet and was like, "Oh, Adam."
Like with Adam's face off like the lady in the first Holliston.
Yeah. It's funny. I mean, this was years ago. I got Derek Mears was going to be at a convention, and he's known for Jason Voorhees and Friday the 13th. That's what people really know him from. But I mean, I was a huge Holliston fan, so I took my Blu-ray and he signed the cover, and he's like, "This is." At that time, he said it was the first one he'd ever signed.
Really?
Because he's only in one. I mean, he's one of the. I believe he's one of the cops when they when they get chicken pox. Do they get chicken pox?
Something like that.
Something where they have to be in the bathtub together.
Yeah.
The whole episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, Holliston's great. Check it out if you can. I don't know where you can find it. It used to come on Chiller TV, so that's how far.
That's
back
another thing I miss.
So
so there was Chiller TV, but there was another one too, like FearNet.
FearNet, or was it on FearNet?
I think one absorbed the other and became, because I think Sci-Fi owned Chiller, and that was like
Sci-Fi and NBC, like that conglomerate owned.
Yeah, and but it was the best. Like we're never gonna get that again. I guess we have like Shutter and Screenbox now, but like it's not the same.
Well, and you can go to Pluto, man. Pluto has some horror channels on there that are solid.
But stuff's so edited. Like I watched somebody post one from that yesterday, and it I think it was Dawn of the Dead or Day of the Dead. You know, the zombie with like the face that's all kind of like ripped up at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
The title scrolls there. They had it like blurred out, and I was like, "Come on, old zombie makeup." It's not even like they let stuff on The Walking Dead, and then they won't show that, and it's like, come on.
It's kind of stupid. All right, so I think that covers most of that, but most of the cameos and such.
Yeah, it's not a big cast. It's not.
No, I mean it's a very small cast. I mean, basically the entire movie for an hour. I mean, it's an hour and a half movie, and I think for an hour and like 5 minutes, it's literally just the three of them.
Yeah.
So, and you think like, oh, three people for an hour and a half, but it's done really good. Adam wrote really good dialogue. There's some character building. You end up rooting for all these people. Like, I mean, it's a solid movie, man. I think it's one of Adam Green's best. Like, I think it's his best movie. It's not necessarily my favorite movie, but I mean, I think it's his best. Like, I mean, I know people are going to argue with Hatchet and all that, but I mean, Frozen just seems like you can show that to really anybody that likes a good suspense film.
What's your favorite of Adam's?
I mean, I really used to dig Hatchet 2. I think Hatchet 2 is like the peak of the Hatchet series for me.
Yeah.
Um, but that's just me. Because even Hatchet 3, he's not the director.
Right.
I mean, I understand that he. What I like about Adam is he uses the same people behind the scenes, and so basically you can't really tell it's not Adam directing and such. But I think Hatchet 2 is just really solid. You get Danielle Harris there. You get some really wacky kills. I think that's the kill with the sander. There's like a belt sander or something. I
Yeah. Well, it
remember.
sounds like a chainsaw.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before, I think.
Dude, okay, we're okay. Before we hang up, before we stop the podcast, we're gonna talk about the what trailer just got released. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. We're gonna talk about that.
I didn't
Have you
watch it.
watched the trailer?
No, I don't ever watch
My
trailers.
God, dude, it's amazing. Dude, at the end of the trailer, there is a chainsaw, a flaming chainsaw.
Now it
And it
just
just
sounds like
bursts through the
Sharknado or
wall, and
something.
it's like, whoa! It looks like a video game, man. Dude, I'm telling you, that movie is fun. I mean, it's not fun, but it's good. Like and in this one, apparently, we get Tigger and Owl in this one.
Uh, so there's no rights on any of those characters anymore, huh?
No, it's not necessarily true. So why Tigger wasn't in the first one is because he was still under copyright, but now
Okay.
he's out. So
Okay.
it's as the books were written and the characters were brought in, they're becoming.
That's so interesting that how and then so are you like limited on how much you could copyright something because Mickey Mouse, right? The like Steamboat Mickey or whatever it is like not no longer under copyright.
Correct. The Steamboat Willie, yes,
Steamboat Willie.
is
And then a couple other like big like name franchise things are kind of coming up. I saw they were doing horror movie versions of them. So
well, and like I mean, it doesn't. I mean, right? Look, like Peter Pan it's been done to Peter Pan forever.
right.
And so I don't understand all of copyright. I just understand a bare minimum. But anyway,
Yeah.
the Winnie the Pooh movies are good. Okay, so what are some scenes of Frozen or some set? What is it that you like about Frozen?
I just kind of like it as an overall thing. Like I don't like you're saying. I think it's a movie that you could put on to kind of watch if you're not really wanting to watch something totally like horror and you just want to like kind of a suspenseful thing. It does like when they get stuck up there, like you do. I feel it like in my stomach. I'm like I don't want to get stuck up there. Like I don't.
Oh, there's certain
Hurt me,
points
but
I turn my head. I can't watch it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I
Um,
don't want to talk too many scenes because then it's getting into spoilers there, and I
yeah,
think
no,
this is
it's
one
fine.
where they should watch it, themselves to kind of see it. But what do you think? What scene do you like?
I my thoughts on it are like what I love about the movie is I think my favorite parts are like everything that made the movie good, like the special effects I think are really good, like the practical effects, like the makeup and stuff, them being frostbit. Um, Another thing, the music is really good, and not
Oh yeah,
just the music, but they put wind in there like
yeah, true.
on the ski lift, and you would think it might get annoying, but it's done just so good.
Good
um
sound editing.
yeah, excellent sound editing. I like the fact that you have this Lynch character who he's kind of the asshole, like playboy guy, whatever you want to call him, but like he's trying to like be the leader on the chairlift kind of,
Hmm.
and like he's trying to I forget what tension breaker or
Yeah,
whatever, icebreakers. And they're like, you're stupid. But then they catch on like he's just trying to
keep their
lighten the
morale up.
mood or whatever.
Yeah, the morale.
Yeah. So I dig it. I mean, I really like it. I haven't seen it in a really long time. And it's funny, I have a coworker, she loves horror movies. And so I recommend a whole bunch. which she recommends movies like Mississippi River Shark to me, which apparently she loves.
All
So
right,
I kind of want to watch it.
tell her to watch the Sharkensaw Women's Prison Massacre.
I'm sure she's seen it. She has went on every weather and animal tangent. If it's on Tubi, she's watched it.
That's funny.
I let her borrow Crawl.
Oh yeah. I just saw that in my pile of junk today. I was like, do I want to keep that? And I was like, yeah, I kind of like an animal attack film.
Well, I bought it from Jason to let her borrow because it was only $2 or whatever. Or no, not Jason. Whoops, I went to McKay's, I think, for that. Jason's like, you son of a bitch. Hey, $2. You wouldn't have it for $2. The thing about Crawl, man, is that fucking basement. It's like a fortress, man. It's like I get lost in that basement.
The alligators crawled in with maps, and they're like, "All right, let me take a look real quick. I gotta see what's going on. Let me take a left here."
Like that's to me is why I couldn't take the movie serious. Like,
you know, and I get that, and you could, it makes it a fun watch, just as like a goofy, like animal attack, will she survive kind of thing. I kind of see.
I just like when they're on one side of the basement, and they're like, "Hello," and it's like, like where is the other person?
They had to get an entire city council planning meeting together just to develop that basement.
That basement, yeah. All right, man. I think that's good enough. I think people should watch it. What are you going to give this movie? How many chairlifts out of 5?
I give it like a very solid 3. I give it a solid 3. I mean, could it be higher? Maybe 3.5. But like a 3 to 3.5 is very reasonable for this. But yeah, it's Adam's probably one of his best written ones as far as dialogue and everything. So
I give it a 4. I really like it. And I think I might go higher to a 5 if certain things didn't feel kind of like redundant, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think if you don't like the cheesy horror movies and the really bad horror movies that we talk about on here, this is one to watch. I think you'll dig it. You know, it's a really solid movie. I mean, it doesn't look cheap at all. I mean,
no.
So, yeah. What we got going on next, Jeff?
So next week we're keeping the cold theme, and we're doing the Stallone movie, I See You, from I think like 2001 or 2002.
Yeah, we're keeping the cold theme because 2 weeks it was cold in East Tennessee and snow wouldn't melt on the ground. But now I'm wearing shorts and a damn shirt.
Yeah, it's 60 here, but it felt like
it's like 65 here.
Yeah, so ICU was originally called Detox, D-TOX. I don't know why, because I'll have to ask Taco about that one, because I remember him mentioning this movie. So.
And then after that, we got White Out with Kate Beckinsale. So we're going to finish the cold theme up.
Yes, that's true.
Have you ever seen Cold Prey? We've never talked about that.
Is that the like Norwegian one?
Yeah.
No, but I hear it's really good.
It's really good, man. There's 2 and 3 as well, and I've never seen the third one, and I'm not sure if I can find the second one. I mean, I did look a couple weeks ago, and Orbit DVD had the second one on DVD, but none of them are released on Blue.
No Blues, but I think the second one was released. Shout Factory did the second one on DVD because I did buy that. I don't know where I got the first one on DVD, and I don't think I could find the third. So,
yeah,
you know, if you're a completionist and want the whole set, you're not gonna have a hard time finding it to buy. But they're out there, I guess. You might be able to find a boot for 3, but yeah,
they're cool. It's funny. I picked this cold theme, and I didn't pick that or Dead Snow, which are 2 of my favorites. So.
I was gonna say I don't know why you didn't pick Dead Snow, but.
We gotta save that for something special.
We'd have to record 2 episodes. We'd have to record the original language one, and then we'd have to record the dub.
I'm gonna choose dub every time.
I know you love that version.
The best. It amps up the comedy in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about Dead Snow and Dead Snow 2 maybe later this year. We'll
When it
get
snows
back there.
again. When it snows
Huh?
again in Tennessee.
So February of 2025.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got some cool stuff coming up. You can leave a review on any platform you're watching or listening to us from on. Night of the Nerdy Laser is on Spotify, Libsyn, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. We're on Instagram and Facebook. Night of the Nerdy Laser. We make it really easy for you. So just find us and give us a follow on all those platforms. Leave a review. Share it. All sorts of things you can do for absolutely free to help a podcast out.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, do it, Jeff says. Do it.
Yeah, do it.
So anyway, I'll be uploading some things on YouTube. So by the time you get this episode, hopefully you can check YouTube and you'll find some newer episodes on there. I know a lot of people like YouTube, but I have a hard enough time finding time to do the podcast. So it's fine though. But anyway, that's it. That's all she wrote. Until next time, what should they do, Jeffrey Lown?
They need to keep it bloody.
Because somebody has to not go snowboarding.